What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the We'll See You Later podcast, episode 45, brought to you by Happy's Energy and Nutrition and Liberton Home Repairs of Little Rock. My name is Willie Ray.
My name is Jeremy. Liberton Home Repairs, quality home repair service you can trust here in Little Rock. Call them at 405-600-8363 for all your home repair needs. Like he said, this is episode 45. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about, Willie.
Yep, it begins on a somber note.
It does.
For us Arkansas fans. In year one of the John Calipari era, let me start off by saying thanks for the ride, boys.
Absolutely. This game, to me, I didn't want it to end this season. From the jump, I have been all aboard on this team, even though they're frustrating. And the emotional roller coaster that is, first of all, the Arkansas Razorbacks in general. And this team was the definition of what we're kind of used to as a fan base, but the hope, I think, in this group was much different than before. So for me, I kept telling everybody that we're good. It's just got to click. It's just got to click. And eventually it did. And it just so happened to be right in March. And this team put it together, and you just start pulling for these kids because they finally got it. And it's like, oh my gosh, something special's happening here. And to see it end was more somber and like the saddest thing. Even screw the 16-point lead, in my opinion. That's happened all year.
Right.
We've done that all year. So it's nothing new. Also, what pissed me off a little bit was that everybody was burying Calipari. They still did it, even after everything that he did. They were still, oh, look at his last 5 seasons, blows a 16-point lead. Nobody says that about Texas Tech right now.
It's lazy.
It drives me nuts.
It's lazy to dunk on Calipari. It's tired. It's lazy. If you are a ball knower, which I feel like these two guys are, we don't know much, but we know ball.
I know a little.
This whole tired rhetoric about Cal and whether he's a good coach or not, it's just that. It's lazy. It is a lazy take.
It's that low-hanging fruit.
It really is. He will be there in March. His teams will compete their asses off. And Arkansas, depth was an issue all year. Even they felt like Arkansas was getting their pieces back. Not back at 100%. Duke the Arrow barely played.
Yeah,
it was evident.
It was sloppy.
It was evident from the get-go that he was about 70%, and that's being lenient.
Yeah.
Now, Arkansas's had a problem all year with building leads and then collapsing. If you were watching the game like me and thinking to yourself, everything's gone so great, you could still feel it coming.
100%.
You could feel it coming where if they get hot and hit a few threes in a row, which you know they're capable of, what happened was going to happen.
Exactly.
Props to Darian Williams. He got hot at the right time. The little point guard had gone forever.
Berries
all night long. And then, credit to Texas Tech. Now, you did run your head a little bit after made it easy to pull against you in the Elite Eight. And life comes at you fast in March.
Yeah, it does. Karma's a beast.
That Walker Clayton is a bad boy. And
yeah, I think anybody would have lost to them that day.
Right. He gets a rebound. I know we're jumping ahead here, but gets a rebound down by 3, which they were down by 9. It felt like 30 seconds before that.
Right.
And gets the rebound at the free throw line with nobody around him and just dribbles back and purposely shoots a turnaround 3, and it's panties. Nothing but the bottom.
It was incredible.
Oh, ice cold. The game's not over, but at that point, it's over.
Yeah.
You feel like, okay, these guys literally, it felt like they were playing with their food, and then with 2.5 minutes left, they said,
turn it on.
We're done playing with you guys.
I think for us, if we go back, Arkansas, man, I think it just stung because you kind of could feel that it was going to happen. But at the same time, when I thought that this time was the time it wasn't going to happen, when Carter Knox hit that 3 to go up 6 with a minute 20, I'm like, this is it. Here we go. And it just didn't happen. DJ Wagner, the only thing I could say, I wish that now looking back, if he makes it, no one says this. I wish John L. would have got the ball towards the end of one of them. Not saying both.
I'm going to play devil's advocate with that. And as great as Nelly Davis was, and he was phenomenal. He's one made basket away from that going down in the annals as one of the greatest performances in Arkansas postseason history. It still kind of is, but you're not going to get the recognition when you lose the game. John L. Davis was phenomenal. He did have 3 or 4 possessions down the stretch where they were clearly trying to make him the guy to keep you in the game, and it ended up block shot here, turnover there. Arkansas, looking at the Final Four, looking at teams like a Duke, like a Houston, a Florida, or an Auburn, they all have something in common that Arkansas never had all season long, and that is a bona fide finisher at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Where we know this is our bona fide bucket getter.
That's who we're going to.
And we get him the ball to finish the game. Everybody knows at the end of the game, Walker Clayton Jr. is getting the ball for Florida. They can't do anything to stop it. Everybody knows Cooper Flagg's getting the ball. Good luck stopping it. Arkansas just didn't have a finisher, whether it be in the portal or maybe one of these freshmen ends up being a Cooper Flagg type freshman in Darius Acuff or Malik Thomas or Isaiah Seeley, or they're talking about adding one more. Maybe one of these freshmen ends up being the guy, but Arkansas never had a guy where it's we go here in crunch time.
Yeah, I love DJ having it. The problem is DJ, you and who am I to tell you, but you got to get to the rack. Like on the first shot, we were more drifting to the baseline than we were to the basket.
They can't stop you without fouling you.
Not at all.
Eventually, he's going to figure that out. And look, AJ, you're not going to consult us. You're not going to listen to this podcast. Come back one more year, buddy.
Absolutely.
And I'm not just saying that because I want you to come back. I do want you to come back, but
I think you'll be even more.
One more year could do you a lot of good. And I really think that if your name's not Boogie Flan, you could say that about all these guys that are eligible to come back.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're losing a Jonas Adu and Nelly Davis to eligibility.
Yep.
And just as we were coming on air, it broke it.
Hold on. We got Willie Portals here.
Right.
Willie Portals.
Just as we were coming on air, it broke that Zvonimir Ivicic, Big Z, is in the portal.
Big Z goes to portal. We thought that would happen. Chavis has entered the portal, did not play, but I think one game. And then Big Z is in the portal. Brought to you by Willie Portals.
I'm not one to disparage a kid on the way out the door. So let's start by saying, Big Z, thank you for everything that you did for Arkansas basketball.
Absolutely.
Let's start by saying that. I love your story that you came over from Croatia, that Cal looked out for you, got you eligible when the jackasses at the Kentucky admissions office were trying to make it hard on you. Now, having said that, this guy never grew into a legit SEC 5.
No.
Which is what he's
at. What we needed.
At 7'2", you're a 5-man.
Yeah. And
if you cannot, for lack of better terms, if you cannot bang in the post, if you cannot make a move to get by someone, if you're Les Hardy slow, if you're slew-footed, if you're just questionable athlete, kind of a liability on defense, a great shot blocker, but he had to be because guys were just blowing right by him.
Yeah.
It just wasn't a fit in the SEC. I hope he catches on somewhere and does well. But the deficiencies were evident throughout the year. He kind of had big games here and there where he shot the ball well, but what really sealed that he needed to go in the portal was March in the tournament. When you're playing against guys like a JT Toppin or
studs,
Hunter Dickinson, if you're playing against the guys that you're going to be playing in March, he kind of got exposed every time he comes in the game. They go right at him.
Yes, because he's either going to foul or get blown by.
St. John's, he was on the floor. Now, not all that was his fault, but a lot of it was because he couldn't stay in front of Zuby Ejiofor.
Yeah.
Because he was just getting bullied.
Yeah.
He was on the floor for 9 minutes of basketball and fouled out.
No points.
Nothing. Five fouls. Nothing.
Yeah, that's my kind of basketball. But no, Big Z was just great athlete, great size, not an SEC guy. Like, that's it.
And that's okay.
That's not a shot at him at all. I think that he can get better.
In the right mid-major situation, he's a sensation right now. Because
he's a problem for Arkansas State.
Somebody in the mid-majors could win their conference tournament solely based on the fact that they have him on their team.
Yes, because he'll shoot. He can stretch it. He can do his little jump hook. He doesn't have to get too physical, and he would dominate.
He wouldn't have to get too physical, but then the level of physicality that he does bring would be good enough at a mid-major level to be a presence inside.
Right.
It's just not one, it's not good enough here.
Right.
What
So-
Arkansas needs to hit the portal and find they found it in Jonas Adu. Jonas Adu just got hurt.
Yeah.
A healthy Jonas Adu, we're not having this discussion.
We're not a 10 seed.
We're not a 10 seed, and we saw he did work in the tournament. He towards the end of the year when he started getting healthy, that's what we had before the injury. Same thing can be said about Nelly Davis, a hurt right wrist. First of all, if I pay you $1.2 million and you come to me and say you fell off a golf cart,
It almost broke your wrist.
right? What are you doing on a golf cart? What are you doing?
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. I think an off season of Cal talked about it, set the culture. This year did that.
Yeah.
Now, was that the first time in a very long time a loss lingered where it was the next day I just didn't really feel like doing anything? That was the first time that it's hurt like that in a while.
For sure.
The future is so very bright.
Absolutely.
And if you're watching this and you like dunking on Cal, you're lazy. That's a bad take. It's a tired take.
And that's all you got, to be honest with you. The success he has here is just you're going to warrant more of that crap. And you're going to hear it over and over again. So Arkansas fans, I wouldn't even entertain it.
It's a lazy take, and here's why. Everybody's going to lose in March except for one team. That's the nature of this tournament, that you're sitting around waiting on a coach to lose so you can dunk on him. I didn't do it to Mark Pope. Lost in the same round as Calipari.
And never had the lead but for like 25 seconds.
To a team that they'd beaten twice. If you build up enough success, you're going to become the villain.
Yeah.
And that's where we are here. That it's fashionable to say, oh, that's what Cal does. 2 or 3 weeks ago, we kept hearing about how he hadn't been out of the first round in 5 years. Killed that, and now all of a sudden it's, oh, well, it's same old Cal. No, it's not.
Not even close.
No, it's not.
But you will lean on that. If Cal didn't go to the Final Four or win a championship, it's same old Cal. He's in the Sweet 16.
Why am I not hearing people dunk on Grant McCaslin? Because most of you guys that are dunking on Cal didn't even know who Grant McCaslin was until you played him in the Sweet 16, was gifted a 16-point collapse, and then goes and has one of his own in the next round. Now, Florida had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
But it's just like Texas Tech had a lot to do with that against Arkansas. Anybody saw that coming when they shot 7 of 14 from three-point range. And if you listen to this podcast, we said 7 was kind of the over-under that you needed to make for the entire game.
Yeah.
And they make it in the first half, and you think they're not going to maintain that shooting percentage. They got close. They shot the ball well, but you look at two teams, one shoots it well, one doesn't, and it was reversed where the team that shoots it well isn't shooting it well in the first half, and the team that doesn't shoot it well is shooting the lights out. So you knew what the second half was going to be. These were going to flip back to the law of averages, and that's exactly what happened. That Arkansas went cold, come back to the mean, come back to the average, and Texas Tech eventually got hot. Hit a few threes in a row, and
it just drives me nuts that people are going to try to crap on Cal for that. Like, if we're watching this bracket, Alabama put up 113 points and hit 25 threes in the Sweet 16, and it looked unbelievable. I mean, Sears had 11 himself.
it was ridiculous to watch.
It was unbelievable. If they threw it up, it was going in. And the very next round against Duke, they scored 65 barely. And they put up 113. They scored 75 points on threes alone 2 days prior.
Yeah, it's
the next game. Like, no one's crapping on Bama for that. It just happens. That's basketball. And it drives me nuts that we're the only double-digit seed who wasn't supposed to be in the tournament, started dead last in the conference, and turned it around, got in, beat Kansas, St. John's, and we will always say should have beaten Texas Tech here and didn't. And for us to just crap on the man who started with one player on that roster, who wasn't even a starter on his team until the end of the year.
You better get us now, because you're not going to be able to get us later.
That's us.
And that's how I feel about Arkansas right now. This has been year one, and it was very experimentational. Injuries, having to rebuild the roster from literally the ground up, and you made the Sweet 16.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It's and we're a shot here or there from making the Elite Eight, and then who knows what happens.
Right.
The future is very bright, and you better get your pot shots in now.
Yeah, so What are we thinking here, portal wise? Like, it's all just started. By the way, the portal closes April 22nd, so we have a month and a half.
Right. I only have one name that really stands out to me.
Who do we have leaving officially? John L. Davis, Jonas Adu. 0.999% sure Boogie's got to go. He's going pro. He's a lottery pick.
Boogie will get the scholarship ripped up. He won't have a choice.
Yeah, like Boogie, we don't need you to come back. You need to go get that money and go get drafted. Big Z leaves. Chavis leaves. That's 5 gone for sure. Now, the other side. Do we keep a Carter Knox? I hope so. Do we keep a DJ Wagner? Do we keep a Billy Richmond? Do we have a possible Trevin Brazil with a COVID year? I mean, are we keeping these guys?
I would think you'd have to drop a bag to get Brazil back.
My question with Brazil.
I think he's there's no way he comes back unless he's getting paid.
The problem I think Brazil will see is this being his last year. And if his dream is to go, because he was once upon a time a first-round pick, possibly a lottery pick. If he wants that, I don't think he gets that with us. I think that he has almost the same esque role that he has this year. I don't see him as the main attraction. And if he goes somewhere smaller or just somewhere else, he could ball out.
Right.
I think for his last college year to make a stamp on who he is, if he transfers, kind of like how Battle went over to Xavier.
That's a good comp. That you might be better suited to go some, but it's what happens when John Calipari is your coach. If you lose a player to the portal or the draft, it's going to be because they were pushed that way.
Yeah.
They were told, if Isic was told, get in the portal, big dog.
And I think that for Trevin, that would be the only thing. I think he would want to come back for sure. But being your last year and you want to make a stamp to try to be an NBA stock kind of guy, he's got to go somewhere to be the guy, and that ain't going to be here.
Now, wherever he goes, he will test through the roof when he goes back for an NBA combine.
Oh, yeah.
A guy like that, they want to see him healthy for an entire year.
Yeah.
Which you kind of got this year.
But as a starter, fully.
But, man, he's going to test through the roof.
Yeah. His numbers are going to be stupid.
When we talk vertical, when we talk athleticism, he's going to test through the roof. He needs maybe one more year to become more of a knockdown three-point shooter because he has an opportunity to make a roster based on rebounding, based on the stuff that he does that just normal people can't do.
Yep.
Being a crazy athlete. But with his body type, there's another tier as far as like a shooter that you need to get to.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then the one that I have mixed feelings about because I really want him to stay, but I don't know if that's just me being selfish. Adu, the Arrow.
It'd be the best thing for him one more year.
He was already a fringe first rounder when they were putting out the mock draft or a very early second rounder. But with his knee, I don't know if it hurt his stock at all, but if it did, is he okay with that? Or would he rather come back a year and be a stud for a full season? And I truly believe he is a top 20 pick.
SEC player of the year.
Kind of guy.
Type guy if he comes back for another year.
Right.
Now, guys are allowed to get better. And I think he would make a big step from now with a full offseason. I would love to have him back for another year. I think there's a greater chance of him coming back than a lot of people want to believe. I think it would be in the best interest of all parties to come back and have a healthy season at Arkansas, lead them on a deep tournament run, and, FaceTime on TV is a big deal.
I'm seeing on here, not breaking news like it's official, but per sources on the inside of the program, Billy Richmond has let Cal know that he would like to come back. But that is not breaking. That is just inside sources.
Yeah, that would be big because would be big because Billy's a big culture guy.
People coming in, guys, if you don't know who Darius Acuff is, they are comparing him to SGA right now,
who could very well be the NBA MVP.
They say that Acuff is flat out special. This kid's going to be, we love Boogie. I love Boogie. He's a different kind of guy. This guy's a different animal than Boogie. He is not a Boogie. He just plays the same position.
Right.
Boogie's the assist guy, creates his own shot one-on-one. This guy's a stud.
This guy's a bucket getter.
He will go get you what you want.
You can still win with freshmen. If you're going to win with freshmen, they have to be elite freshmen. They have to be a Cooper Flag. They have to be these guys. Duke's starting 3 freshmen. They're just 3 of the best freshmen in the country.
Yeah, that's what people are talking about as well is you can't win with freshmen. Like, that's not true.
That's horseshit.
I know that Rick Pitino said that he's not going after any freshmen. That's a different program as well. They can't I don't think that St. John's is going to be able to pay and go get those 5-star studs.
They are a different feel as far as a destination for a transfer. It can be a destination for a transfer. It's not going to be a destination for the 18-year-olds. And Pitino knows that. You can't win with freshmen if you're recruiting at a mediocre level. We're not. Arkansas won't with this man in charge. Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, these are day one impact guys. Darius Acuff didn't come here to sit on the bench.
No.
That's your one guard from day one. Does that mean that we slip him over to the 2 if DJ Wagner comes back? I'm pumped about the Billy Richmond thing just because I don't know where he'll play, but I know he's a big-time culture guy as far as, look, we play hard. We're dogs around here. Billy's big for the culture, and I'm glad to have him. I'm glad if that ends up being true, Billy Richmond can play on my team every year.
Every year. A scout saying that Boogie Fland is a first rounder, possibly slips to a second rounder because of the hand. And Adu Thero is pick 40 to 60 on the second end. He's a second rounder, is what they're predicting before they do anything combine related.
It comes back to with Adu Thero. It comes back to are you satisfied with that?
Right.
Is that enough? Because if that's enough, by all means, go get it.
I do have semi-breaking news. It's kind of cool. Oklahoma basketball has hired an assistant general manager. He's donating $1 million to the Sooners. Mr. Trey Young.
Oh, my God.
Right.
Wow. Ice Trey.
Trey Young, as an assistant general manager, he just announced it on ESPN, and Young will also be donating $1 million to the Sooners.
All right, I'm looking at you.
That's pretty cool.
All right, I'm looking at you, Bobby Portis. I'm looking, you know what I mean?
Daniel Gafford.
Like I'm looking at Dan Gafford. I'm looking.
It's pretty cool.
Hey, Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams. What we didn't talk about when we talked about Remy Cofield for the Boston Celtics is I don't know if it's been officially announced or not, but it's going to be that he's the general manager for Arkansas. It never even crossed my mind that as the GM, you kind of have, like, by definition, you're the coach's boss.
Yeah.
Like you're
they get who you give them.
You're a go-between between you're like
you build the roster.
Right. You're that guy that is the in-between between the coach and the athletic director. An athletic director may want to keep you, but the general manager decides, no, that ain't the right move.
Right. So if you follow our Instagram, we'll see you later, Instagram. We're posting on our story as many portal pops as we can because it's going to be crazy. But currently, not many big men are out there, like big fish.
And that's the most important get for Arkansas now, especially before Big Z got in the portal. But before that, even it becomes even more of an emphasis now. And clear,
we have no big men.
And clear that Arkansas was going to make it an emphasis, or they wouldn't have let Big Z get in the portal.
Yeah,
where it's
all we have is possibly Brazil.
Possibly. You're going to have to go get those big back to the basket guys. Look, I'm for it because the fact of the matter is Arkansas, like, you got to, like, to steal a line from Larry Johnson, you got to go get you some men. I need big, nasty physicality in the portal. You either have it or you lose to it in March.
Yeah. So a couple names out there that are floating around that are possibly in the portal that we are looking at. UAB forward, a 6'9" senior, averaged 17 points a game, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists and 2 blocks. Lindenborg.
We'll just call him Yaks.
Yaks is scheduled for a Zoom. He is either going to be entering the transfer portal or declaring for the draft. But he is possibly going to be getting on a Zoom call with Coach Cal.
One that stood out to me, and you got to trust the talent evaluation of this staff. They've been doing this since before the portal was a thing. One name that stood out to me that feels like a perfect fit and kind of a need. Arkansas hadn't had that knockdown shooter in God knows how long. You'd have to go back to what, like Daryl Macon?
Maybe it's been a minute.
As a knockdown shooter for the Mike Anderson years, and before that, maybe even back further, Rodney Clark. Arkansas has a guy from Sam Houston State that's in the portal, and the thing for me is that he's from Ashdown, Arkansas. Originally, that he started his career at Tennessee. transferred to Sam Houston State. Lamar Wilkerson.
Okay.
He 6'5", a quintessential 2-guard that kind of runs around without the ball. 45% from three-point range. It feels like the right kind of fit where you could have a role. He averaged 20 points a game at Sam Houston. Reminds me a lot, and this is kind of a hot comp because the guy just broke a school record for three-pointers not too long ago. But his game reminds me a lot of Chaz Lanier from Tennessee. I feel like if we're going to talk about a guy out of the portal that just feels like a right fit,
this guy's it.
Being an in-state guy, and what you need out of the portal this year is 3 S's: size, strength, and shooters. That's just what Arkansas didn't have a knockdown shooter. They need 1 or 2. They didn't have enough. Let's just say it didn't have enough ass in the paint. They had it with Jonas Adu, but he was hurt before the season even started.
Right.
You need that and maybe more than one of them.
Oh, yeah. Also a guy that's in the portal that, speaking of one of the S's, a shooter, a guard. He plays for Monmouth. A 6'7" sophomore, averaged 20 points this season. Abdi Bashir Jr. He tells everybody that he has a Zoom call with Kansas today, Alabama tomorrow, and Arkansas and Kentucky for the rest of this week.
Abdi Bashir, as you can see, big game hunting. By that list, big game hunting. You're going to pay for Abdi Bashir.
He is the nation's leading three-point makes. He has 127 threes he made this year.
Whoever gets Abdi Bashir is going to make national news because that immediately you become one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country if you add that. Whoever gets him is going to have to drop a bag.
Oh, yeah. He scored.
Chicken man, John Tyson, I'm looking at you. Bring him home.
He scored 38 points against Rutgers this year and 20 against Michigan State. He is the twin brother of Auburn commit Abdul Bashir.
That's what I remember seeing is that he has to be.
He's a twin.
He has to be an Auburn lean, right?
It's not even. He don't even have Auburn on the list.
Yeah, but Auburn's still playing. That's going to be a big get for whoever gets him. I don't see anybody on that list that needs him more than Arkansas would need him.
Yeah. Do you know Efton Reed?
I do not.
He went to LSU and Gonzaga.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I remember the name now. When you said LSU, he played for Will Wade.
Okay. Just entered the. We're not going to do this the whole time. This is the last one because I can just keep refreshing. Just entered the transfer portal from Wake Forest center Efton Reed, who was a former LSU Tiger and Gonzaga, averaged 8.8 points and 6 rebounds per game this season with Wake Forest. He has entered the portal.
He's a dog, very, very physical, very physical. You remember those Will Wade teams at LSU? Very physical.
Yeah.
I would take Efton Reed on my team as just the paint enforcer. I'd be welcome to that.
Yep. So just he's
in.
Efton
Reed, coached by the big man whisperer Kenny Payne, he's gonna make you better.
We'll lose at least 3 more guys, maybe more. But you've got 4 guys coming in for freshmen, and we're going to hit that portal hard. Moving on, we're going to keep up with this as much as we can. Remember, the portal doesn't end until April 22nd.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of going forward since, the next time we come to you will be the national championship game will be
that night.
I guess that night.
Yeah.
The next time that we record. And then it's, college basketball's over and we're the boys of summer.
To the Diamond Hawks, who dropped.
And it's crazy. It's crazy that what we're about to tell you, it's nuts. These guys did everything possible to deserve top billing on this podcast. We should have talked about them first, but it was March Madness, and that trumps everything when it's going on. This baseball team is so special.
Very special. If I told you we went 3-1 this past weekend, you wouldn't guess which one we lost.
No.
You couldn't. But Hogs lose to Missouri State 14-13 in a wild game.
Sloppy. The game lasted 4.5 hours. It was
ugly.
Guess what, Jeremy? It'll shock you to hear. People overreacted. I know that's shocking.
Yeah, that's just a thing.
People overreacted. Tell me that you don't know ball without telling me that you don't know ball. You know how you can do that? Overreact to a midweek loss in college baseball. Midweeks be midweekend. This happens. Midweeks are weird.
Did you also see, 14-13 we lose, but they brought in their starter, their ace, in the 8th inning. This meant a lot to them.
When you are Goliath to David. It's a much bigger deal for David than it is for you. But here's what happens in baseball. Sometimes you need to lose one in order to win one down the road. And you'll never convince me that losing to Missouri State the way that you did in a midweek game, knowing that you had no business losing that game, lit a fire under these boys' asses going to Nashville.
Well, you can't tell me. I don't care who you are. The 3 Vandy wins massively trump the Missouri loss. Like, I'll take that 8 days out of the week.
Who's talking about it?
I'm just saying. Like,
here's the thing, guys. We're talking about haven't won a series against Vanderbilt since 2017. Now, you don't play them every year, so that's misleading, but it's been a long time. Haven't won a series in Nashville since 2005. That was 20 years ago, man. Haven't won a series in Nashville in 20 years. You know, the last time we shut them out, Arkansas won the Friday game 9-0. Maybe I should let you talk about that first before I bring that up.
Arkansas wins Friday's game 9-0. And we talked about this guy's going to throw strikes, and he's a strikeout guy. They averaged 16 strikeouts against Texas A&M the week before. Arkansas goes out and shuts them down, which we kind of thought they could do.
Now, this has to start with me tooting my own horn. I know I would never do that, but toot. I told you to expect a big week from the former Commodore, Cam Kojal.
And what happened?
Cam Kojal went deep twice in that first game. So nice he did it twice. This guy had 2 home runs on the season coming into this series. He hit 3 on the weekend. This guy made himself right at home back in Nashville. I started calling him Cammy Commodore just to rub salt in the wound. Cammy Commodore coming back home to Smashville and smashed.
He's their best guy. He goes 6 innings, gives up 5 hits, 5 runs, 6 strikeouts.
What's the first name? Last name's Thompson.
JD
Thompson.
6 strikeouts on the day. Let's say they averaged 16.5 against Texas A&M. They put up 10 that first game, and they lost 9-0. Something we ain't really talking about because we're so hyped about the 9-0. We are so hyped about the 9. That nothing. Mr. Zach Root.
Zach
freaking Root.
Zach Futhermucking Root.
Zach Root went 7 2/3, and they could have left his ass in there if they really wanted to.
Rudy had it all.
3 hits, 7 Ks, 3 walks.
That
the
first
man
hit
was wheeling.
That first hit didn't come until the 5th inning. He threw 4 no-hit innings. So sharp, landing all 4 pitches for strikes, throwing them in any count. We needed Zach Root to be a legit Friday night guy,
and he is.
Check for one weekend, man. That was fun to watch. I love the fact the dude came out of the game, had the best game he had all year, and he's barking at the umpire because there were some squeezes in the last at bat where he felt like he went 7 2/3 and he's trying to get that last out to go 8.
Yeah.
He felt like he got squeezed on the last batter that he faced and decided to let the umpire know about it. You know what? There's a fine line between just a turd and a competitor, and he walks it, and I'm here for it. And I feel like this whole team walks that line.
Oh, for sure.
If you look, kids on the internet don't need to be watching these post-game reactions that Arkansas baseball Twitter puts up, because it seemed like for a little while they were trying to edit out all the bad words and then eventually just said F it. And these guys are dogs. These guys are dogs. I think they're kind of kicking, they're kind of walking the line where it feels like Arkansas was kind of that, a very professional type program. Yeah. There's some black hats in this group, and I'm here for all of it.
I love it.
Where they're not, should I say it? They're not Tennessee, where you just feel like
you hate Tennessee.
Where you just feel like, man, every home run's a bat flip. Where you just feel like you're starting stuff. You're trying to get under people's skin. Arkansas is not to that point. I think they're just competing.
Yeah, and they're just hype about it.
And they like each other. You can tell this team likes each other. And so Zach Root, before we came on, was actually named SEC Pitcher of the Week. Way to go, kid. Now, the most important start of the weekend was Saturday.
It was. We talked about this. I thought this would be the day we get caught. Hogs win 6-4 in extra innings The one and only Gabe Gackle made his return, Willie Ray.
Well,
Statistically,
he looked like the Gabe Gackle that we look. It's different if you're going on Saturday or Sunday as opposed to Friday. I feel like this is more on par with what should happen. You know, freshman closer, weekend rotation, and then eventually in your last year, Friday night guy.
Yeah.
But we're in the right spot. I feel like he's got a sweet spot on Saturday. He was better than what his numbers even indicated as far as like when you read off the numbers, the runs allowed, all that stuff. One of those runs was just a runner that he was responsible for.
Yeah.
That he came out and another reliever gave up the knock that brought him in. And he ends up getting a no decision because it was tied 2-2 before another pitcher came in. We needed that from Gabe, where your Friday night guy needs to be expected to go deep in the game. Saturday and Sunday, if you get me through 5, great.
He went 5 2/3. Six hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts.
This now, especially get me through 5 when you've got the bullpen that this team has. They swept the top 15 team on the road and never used names like Will McIntyre. Like a Parker
Coyle, who is a stud, never even had to get up and do nothing.
Never used a guy like Christian Fauch.
Nope. You had Zach Root, Aiden Jimenez came in for just a second, and then Dylan Carter.
Which that was big for Aiden Jimenez to come in and retire his guy quickly, and then they make the move to get him out quickly where you can put him back in for an extended period of time on Saturday, and, man, he dealt.
Yeah, and then on Saturday, Gabe Gackle, Carson Wiggins, and then Aiden again.
Yeah, and I figured out through post-game video that they call him Jimmy because of Jimenez, Jimmy. Yeah. So we will be referring to him as Jimmy from now on.
Jimmy.
He's a dog,
he
man.
Is. Hogs look damn good. Saturday, a little sketchy. And then that 10th inning.
You went into extras, and I feel like winning this game in extras after the way that you did them on Friday, which was rude. To come into somebody's house and do them that way. It was rude, and I need more of it. I feel like Vanderbilt was embarrassed and came out and played as hard as they possibly could on Saturday.
Yeah.
And you felt like
you took their best shot.
If they pull this out, good for them. It's very important. But you felt like, man, that's a knockout blow. When a game goes into extras and you end up taking it from them anyway, Cam Kojal goes deep again, by the way.
Yeah. Cam Kojal hitting his 3rd home run of the series.
No big deal.
Won us the game.
It's what we do.
He does.
Saturday felt like a gut punch. And as vulnerable as a Vanderbilt team will ever be at home, where you felt like, okay, let's get greedy and try to get this 3rd one because they're on the mat right now.
Hogs go win 7-3 on Sunday to get the final sweep. Hogs jumped up 2-0 early, and then in the 4th, Landon Beidle gets touched up just a smidge.
Landon Beidle pitched very well.
Like 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. Ben Bybee comes in and just cleans up after that.
The 3 earned runs were not all three earned runs are not created equally. That came on one swing.
Yeah.
A 3-run homer that was not a bad pitch. The guy went down and got it low and in and hit it over that big monster that they've got out there. Not a bad pitch, just a better swing. But it was back and forth there for a little while, and you heard Dave Van Horn say in the postgame, we felt like in the dugout if we could just keep it close, that a big inning was coming.
Yeah, and it did. So it was 3-2 going into the 8th inning, and Hogs explode for 5 runs in the 8th to take a 7-3 lead.
That includes a 2nd home run on the day from the greatest leadoff man in the country. We can say that now.
Absolutely.
From another country. Oh, Canada. Thank you for Charles Davalon. Canada's best export. Canada's best export. He's right up there with maple syrup. My guy is a dog in the leadoff.
Charlie. Maple syrup Davalon.
He prefers Charles, so I'm going to call him Charles, but I'll probably just call him Chuck.
He's a beast.
Chuck Davalon is
a bad man.
Be a leadoff guy and you're hitting over 400. That's great. The team lead for bombs is 10. My man's got 9.
Yeah, as a leadoff.
He will touch you up.
Kahio Aloy, who we love, he's now ahead of him in home runs.
Arkansas 3rd in the country in home runs. And you look at that and you think, okay, well, they're just living off the bomb. That's not it. This offense is so well balanced where it's just, I think they've just been on a stretch where they've run into home runs on accident. They will stretch you out. They will go gap to gap. It feels like this lineup 1 through 9 complements each other. At times with Cam Kojal going the way that he's going, I've equated it like Chuck Davalon on top, Cam Kojal in the middle, Justin Thomas in the 9 hole. It feels like 3 leadoff hitters.
All right, yeah, scattered out.
It feels like you could have either one of those 3.
And what was crazy is, we talked about, other than Chucky, the people that somehow sparked this run was towards middle bottom of the lineup. Yeah. They would spark the run.
We found out on the SEC Network broadcast on Friday that apparently the bottom 3 of Helfrich, Souza, and Thomas are referring to themselves as the Caboose Gang. They've been getting their chores done in the Caboose Gang because they've been setting the table. They've been setting the table for these boys. And here's the thing. The 2 quote-unquote big bats, the scary bats in this lineup, are obviously the Eloy brothers. These guys want to combine like 2 for 28 on the weekend.
Cahill didn't have a great...
It's so impressive to think you don't have to get that production.
Exactly.
It can come from anywhere.
That's what I like about it is you don't have... What I think frees up everybody is it's anyone. Any given time. It's not like we can't go nowhere without Eloy.
There's no pressure because they feel like they're just passing the baton to the next game.
Right.
I love hearing Coach Van Horn say, our pitchers know we're never out of a game.
Ever.
Our pitchers don't stress if they give up some runs because they know
it's coming.
Our offense is going to score. Boy, these Nate Thompson haters are quiet.
They are. He figured something out this year. This team, I'm telling you, we talk about this stuff every year because we're always up there. This team is different.
It's time to start talking out loud and be boisterous about the fact that you are good enough to win a national championship, and it's Omaha or bust. And when you get to Omaha, to steal a phrase from my guy Phil Elson, the radio voice of the Diamond Hogs, we're coming for the whole damn thing.
Yes.
It's time to start feeling that way because
baseball is halfway over.
I'm here to tell you guys, Tennessee and Georgia are really good. They're not that much better than the squad that you have in Fayetteville.
That's a neck and neck race.
It is negligible difference, and you will find out
this year.
You will find out in a couple of weeks. Arkansas's got Grambling tomorrow in North Little Rock at Dickey Stevens Park, right down the street from here. Central Arkansas show up for your boys.
Yeah.
Then they welcome in a bad Missouri team. Missouri's 0-9. 0-9 in conference.
9-17 overall.
And look, you don't want to talk about a sweep.
Nope.
Sweeps are hard. Arkansas's got 2 in a row. They're hard. But man, if there's anything that felt like a layup,
this would be it. They've been swept by Texas, Ole Miss, and LSU.
Now, baseball's going to baseball.
It is.
So
we're taking 2-1 is what we want.
So if we don't sweep, don't come on here and say, well, Willie jinxed it. Because guess what? I'm a baseball guy, and they make baseball guys out to be superstitious.
Not Willie.
I'm not that guy.
Also, if we give them their first conference win, it is what it is. We just want the series.
Yeah.
Because that's all that matters.
If superstition mattered and what I said made the opposite happen, I would come on here every day and say Arkansas will never win another game and they'll never win the national championship. And then guess what? It would happen. This is not Harry Potter.
Okay. Series happy. 2-1.
Right. I'll go out on a limb. This Arkansas is about to start 11-1 in conference play. And what's crazy is they're 8-1 right now, and they haven't built any kind of lead because Tennessee and Georgia are both 8-1 as well. I think it's next weekend they go to Athens. You'll find out a lot there, and I think you'll find out what we found out in Nashville. These guys are really good. Then to finish the season, you'll have Tennessee and Fayetteville. You're going to find out head-to-head how you match up against these other 2 teams that are supposedly on your level. It's Omaha or bust for this team. You cannot have a early postseason exit like you've had 3 out of the last 4 years, not with this bunch, because last year's team had deficiencies. We all knew it. We leaned on Hagen Smith, and when somebody finally got to Hagen Smith, we never had the offensive firepower. Dave Van Horn came out after we lost to SEMO in the regional at home last year and very bluntly said, we need to start recruiting a different kind of athlete here. We're not to the par that we need to be. We need to start recruiting a different kind of athlete.
Right.
A pissed off Dave Van Horn is a problem for everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Because when he decides he's going to overcorrect, guess what happens? You're national championship good. Stick your chest out and believe it.
Yeah, go get it.
26-3. It's stupid.
And they look damn good. Like, this isn't like we get lucky in a game or two. Like, we escaped here.
You're up to damn near 10 games that didn't finish 9 innings.
They're going out and dominating. It's insane to see. If somebody puts up 3 or 4 runs on us, it's like, bro, you need more.
Yeah.
Because we're coming.
Yeah.
We're putting up 5+ every game. I'm telling you.
Now,
also, there were some moments in game 2 that I would like to address. Some situational bunting.
Let's go.
That was beautiful. Back to back.
Davey small ball.
I loved every bit of it.
Dave
when I saw that,
Homer.
I texted Will immediately and said, in a word, luscious. I'm telling you now.
That's not what that said.
It said beautiful. But unbelievable. Those bunts, I love a good bunt. I do. I don't know why.
Small ball is beautiful because when done right, it's undefendable.
It's fantastic.
Now, I love the fact that you kind of use the turf against them.
Yeah.
Because
I hate that damn
bunts go faster on turf and they get on you faster. For me, it's just to show that this team is capable of doing shit like
of
that.
Anything.
They're capable of, we can bash you to death, but we can also do this.
Right. Where's the kink in the armor?
We can also small ball you to death. We have speed where we can steal bases if we need to. There is not the ability, there is not the worry that you're sitting back waiting on a 3-run home run. And I feel like for the past few years, that's what this offense has fallen back into.
Somebody's got to hit a home run.
That's what the narrative has been with the Nate Thompson offense, that you're just sitting back waiting on a 3-run homer. They got the memo. This team is super athletic. They all know how to handle the bat. There's 2 or 3 guys that you feel like they can literally do anything with a bat in their hand. Davalon's that way.
Davalon's last home run, when he literally flipped his bat and spun it over his head.
His follow through is funky, but man, I love it where it feels like it's a complete one-handed club swing.
Does.
It looks like a bad release on a golf club.
Yes.
That's what it looks like, where a one-handed release with a club twirl. That's what it looks like. He's goofy and he's a fiery guy. He's a hockey player. You got to be.
Yeah.
Okay, but
scrapper.
Yeah, but then you've got guys like a Cam Kojal who has hit 3 home runs on the weekend, but then can drop down a suicide squeeze bunt.
Right.
It's guys that know how to handle the bat. I feel like up and down the lineup, it's one of those things where it's not just that you're a good hitter. It's that, you're a Logan Maxwell guy who is going to do everything technically right. If you have a runner on second with 2 outs, my very least, at the bare minimum, I'm going to hit a ground ball to the right side and advance him to third. The situational stuff, these guys take pride in it, and it shows. It is not just a powerful offense. It's a well put together offense.
Right. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm hoping we come back to you 4-0 this week, being 30-3 at that point.
Absolutely ridiculous. Arkansas fans, realize that you're spoiled. Take a step back and admire what these guys are doing.
Absolutely. And build Dave Van Horn a statue, not just a hawk.
No, statue.
Full-blown statue. And you can change it to Dave Van Horn Stadium. I don't care.
Yeah, and once you put it outside the stadium, it will be a thing like it is in St. Louis, where they say, meet me at Stan Musial. Meet me at the Stan the Man statue. I say, meet me at the DVH statue of him going like this.
I love it. I love it. Will, before we get out of here, I have another Would You Rather.
Oh, my God.
So last week we had a good one.
This broke the internet.
This literally, we got phone calls. I got a phone call from a friend.
I was still dealing with the shit before we went on today.
Of the 50 hamster-sized lions and the 1 lion-sized hamster.
There's only one right answer, and it wasn't yours.
I picked the little lion. So did my buddy, by the way. He's on my team.
Yeah, he's an idiot, too.
No, he's not. Okay, Will, this one's bad both ways.
Jesus.
Would you rather have shrimp-flavored toothpaste or deodorant that smelled like cheese?
It smells like cheese to the people. To other people?
Yeah, you put...
Or just me?
Cheese to everybody.
My breath now smells like shrimp? Or does it smell like spearmint and it just tastes like shrimp to me?
No, it smells and tastes like shrimp.
Oh, man.
All the way around. And this smells like the deodorant is cheese.
You want to know why this sucks so bad? Because I'm a clean freak, and I would rather somebody punch me in the face than tell me I stink. And like stinking out in public would be the worst thing in the world to me.
And you're about to smell like shrimp or cheese.
I'm going shrimp flavored toothpaste, and you want to know why?
Yeah.
Because I can chew gum.
Okay, you're thinking outside the box?
I can chew gum and still have fresh smelling breath, and like nobody's smelling my pits.
Okay.
I can't, like, you can't chew gum with the armpit. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. Yeah, there's no spearmint gum for the armpit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You can't cover that with cologne, because then cologne and cheese.
No.
What flavor gum you going with?
Huh?
What's your flavor?
Well,
gum?
I guess it doesn't matter because it's gonna taste like ass either way when it. But yeah, shrimp flavored toothpaste.
Oh yeah.
I'm chewing some icebreakers or some Wrigley's or something. You know, just like the spearmint stuff. If you don't chew Big Red, then beep you.
I thought you were a double bubble guy myself.
Not if I'm going for like.
You're going for breath.
I'm going for
killer.
breath freshness. I got to cancel out the seafood platter that's going on in my mouth.
So Will's getting shrimp flavored toothpaste over a cheesy deodorant.
And I feel like that's the only answer.
I probably would do the same thing because I would try the best to hold my breath because you can't stop a pit.
No, and it's awful.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. We're all adults here. We can talk about this for a second. If you smell one time in public, they're forever labeled as the stinky guy. Forever labeled as the stinky guy, and I won't have it, Jeremy. Yeah. I will not have it. If you're walking out here with cheese flavored pits,
oof, that is sweat.
I don't like you.
Imagine sweat. Oof.
I don't like you.
It's gross.
Do something about it. Take a shower.
Wash
your ass, you nasty bastard. You nasty bastard. Brush your teeth, you nasty bastard. Do not ever make me smell your funk. Awful. Awful. They're the worst kind of people. See, and that's the difference. You're acting like I'm wrong. They're the worst kind of people. Wash your ass.
Yeah.
You nasty bastard.
All right, Will, we're getting out of here, okay? We're bringing it home here. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the We'll See You Later podcast, episode 45, brought to you by Happy's Energy and Nutrition, the best energy and nutrition on the planet. Also brought to you by Liberton Home Repairs, quality home repair service you can trust here in Little Rock. 3 things to live by before you guys get out of here. Number 1.
Wash your ass.
Wash your ass crack. Number 2. Don't piss into the wind. Number 3. Hogs by a million. Number 4. Never, ever, ever trust a font. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.